Good afternoon everyone, my name is Serenity Prime and I'm bringing you a Smite Slayer build today. Now the premise of this build is to stack flat lightning damage through our sword and our abyss jewels. Now the amount of flat lightning damage we get from our abyss jewels has been nerfed quite a bit, by roughly 30%, so as before we could get a max of like 75 lightning damage to swords or to attacks. The max we can get now is 45, 50, not quite sure. But I'm hoping that the flat lightning damage that we're also getting from our sword is going to make up for this. So let's go over what I view as the essential gear to this build. Obviously, a Stygian Vise for the Abyss Jewel Socket. Now we have a fairly decent one here. The key stats are life and the elemental damage with attacks. Resistance is obviously a bonus. The more resistance you get, the better it's going to be, the easier it's going to be to move your other gear around for what you need. The second piece of essential gear would be a Tomb Fist, as we get 2 Abyssal Sockets. Obviously you need the 2 Abyssal Socket one for this. So that therefore we get 3 Abyssal Sockets just from our gear alone. Now, the chest piece, you have 2 options I see here. Obviously, well 3. You can go for a normal 6-link chest piece that doesn't have attacks have increased crit strike chance, but I think having the increased crit strike chance is going to help quite a bit. So there's your first 2 options. The second option is the Abyss body armor that gives you a jewel socket and elemental penetration on it. That is still very good. That might even be a better choice, but I bought this, so I'm going to use this. We may buy one of those as well and see how that goes later on. Now for the helmet, a fossil crafted nearby enemies have minus lightning resistance is definitely going to help. That's straight up 9%, it's a more damage multiplier, so that's very useful. Obviously you need a few abyss jewels. Now we currently only have 5, I will need to buy more, but this will certainly get us a solid start. So let's jump right into our skill tree. So this is what the entirety of our tree looks like. We get a fair amount of health, we get a decent amount of crit with our diamond flask up, we have a 67% crit strike chance effective, and we get 4 jewel sockets from this tree, which means we can have a total of 7 abyss jewels, which are going to be very helpful and will definitely increase our damage. Now we're still missing an abyss jewel from our total DPS, so that might push it up to roughly 380,000 single target, but there's a few things that we have to take into account for our total DPS. The first one being multi-strike. Path of Building, as far as I can tell, doesn't show you the increased damage from the second and third hit in your total DPS. Now I'm just guessing here, but I'm going to say that's at least a 30% increased total DPS as to what this is showing us. So really we're sitting at almost 500,000 if we get the second jewel socket. If we get another abyss jewel in there, we'll be sitting at a solid 500,000 Shaper DPS. However, with Ancestral Call, which we'll be using, if you position correctly, you can get 2 smites on a single target, effectively doubling your damage. So in terms of Shaper DPS, we're really, hopefully, sitting at 1,000,000 Shaper DPS or any single target, which is quite respectable for builds that I have done in the past. The only other build I've done that has come close is a double strike, but I'm nowhere near top levels of damage that many of other PoE players achieve. So that is our skill tree. So that is our Smite Slayer build. That's our guide, that's our outline, that's what we're going to work with. So if you want to see how this pans out, feel free to go on over to twitch.tv/SerenityPrime. That's where we're going to be streaming, and that's where we're going to see just how far we can push this build. This has been Serenity Prime here. Have a nice day.